Grand Slam track might become bigger than the Diamond League
Yeah.
if they get Sha'Carri and they get Noah Lyles on top of the athletes that they already have. That is a superstar lineup. There is no other track circuit that would be able to compete with Grand Slam track if they're able to get them. For now, field events don't need track in order to be successful because the viewing experience for a men's 100 and the viewing experience for a women's shot put or a man's pole vault is completely different. And you don't need to have this giant, insane facility to be able to watch these individual events, which are very exciting on their own, but it is getting taken away from because it's not the primary. Like track is the primary in track and field, bro. And this was exactly what I feared. They had Sydney McLaughlin running against a bunch of people that she had no business running against. Blew out the field for what? It was Sha'Carri coming in eighth, and it looked like she knew about 10 meters in that it wasn't going to happen. Any concerns or any thoughts for you from that performance? Or
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand that the stakes might have been lower, but as a competitor, there's a lot of question marks. Like, are you taking this lightly?
Welcome back to another episode of the Track World News Podcast. My name's Colin Waitsman, your host with our esteemed co-host, Mr. Noah Williams. Noah, how you doing today, brother?
What's going on, brother? Blessed and highly favored, man. Feeling good over here. You know what I'm saying? Ready for another episode. We're closing out the season, so yeah, man, I'm feeling good though. How about yourself?
Doing well. Yes, season is wrapping up. I know that we have, I guess, just the one more competition in New York with what Athlos coming up next week or the weekend after, but the season is finally over, and it's crazy because colleges are already getting ready for next year. So it's a long year. It's a long track year, man.
Yeah, definitely a long season, man. I was looking at some of these athletes that just ran in the Diamond League, and I'm like, dang, like I just watched you running in like March. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. So a lot of hard work these athletes put in for sure.
Yeah, there's some that were, I know, because Masai Russell's a rookie. She wasn't in the one, but was Akira Nugent? She didn't run in college this year. She finished last year, right? This was her.
Yeah, I believe so. If there were to be anybody that, I
And
think
Grace
Louis
Stark.
Hinchcliffe and Sean took it like the furthest. Sean Maswanganye.
Yeah, and was Grace Stark was in this Diamond League final, right, for the 100 hurdles. I think.
Yeah, was she in college? She was a pro this year, though. I thought.
Was she? I thought that
Yeah. I think this was a rookie year as well.
She was a pro all year. She didn't run college this year. I thought she won the national championship in the 100.
She might have did, bro. I'm tripping. It's been a long year.
So she started, bro. She started running in December of last year and didn't finish until September of this year. That's crazy. Like, I wouldn't be able to just like lock in that much of like all these races. I need to figure out how many races she actually had this year. Like that's got to be crazy, bro.
What do you think is like an absurd amount of races to run for a season? Like, what do you think is like a crazy number?
So I'm thinking, I can't remember exactly how many it was, but that Abby Steiner year where she ran something like, I can't remember what the number was. I think it might have been somewhere in like the 50s or the 60s or whatever. Yeah. I remember hearing that. I'm like, that is insane. Because she was running like the 200 and the 100 at every race. And then indoor, she was doing the 60 and the 4x4 and the 2. Like, it was crazy. I can't remember what the number was. Whatever that one was, it was insane for me. But what about you?
It was like 50 something though. It was maybe her last year in college.
Okay, yeah. I know it was. I think it was 2022 when she turned pro.
Yeah,
and went into for whatever it was. What's the most races you've had in a year? Did you start racing right after you turned pro in like during the off season?
I think the most races I had in the season was like 36, 37. I counted it one time, so it was like a good amount for my body for sure.
How are those legs feeling at race 36, man?
Dude, I was cooked. Like I was running hurt for like race 30 to 36, but like I definitely could have continued through the summer. Like had the payday been there or like the appearance money been there, I think it would have been a different situation. So For somebody like Kenny Bednarik, I know that he's getting an appearance money, so it's definitely more incentive to keep running. Because if we counted his races this year, maybe that could be something that we do in our free time. But if we counted his races, like I can almost guarantee you, he's ran over 40 races this year.
Bro, that's like so much like on the legs. And like,
Yeah.
how many times are you guys running in practice? So like, are you actually like running all 5 days, or are they some like static? Like,
Not all 5 days, but in a collegiate, I can't speak for his program for what Kenny does, but I
yeah.
mean, in a professional program, I feel like you're going to be running more intense more often than a college program or a high school program because we aren't typically competing as much, especially in the earlier season. So the workouts are more intense for that portion. Probably like 2 days out the week, you're really hitting it because you're not competing on Saturday every Saturday.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably
So
like what you compete in maybe like once every other week, or depending on
yeah,
who it
if
is.
depending on the time of the year, and then sometimes it obviously kicks up, but yeah, about once every
Okay.
10 days, let's say.
Yeah, that's not like yeah, Sean, you were mentioning he competed like 3 times in 4 days. I saw him talking about it on TikTok. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, bro, your legs gotta be cooked right now
yeah.
if you compete in 3 times in 4 days. Like, that's high schoolers don't do that when it's dual meet season. Like, it's like that's a lot of running. But yeah,
Bro, dual meets were funny, bro. Those were the meets like we would go to get like a 4 for 4 and come back to the school and run. Like, it was like always so kosher.
that was some of my favorite memories in track, just like doing the dual meets. Because like,
Yeah,
I wasn't the dominant athlete that I'm sure you probably were in high school, but I like in my dual meets, I was able to cruise my senior year still. Like, I wasn't like that in college like that. But I was in high school, I could do what I wanted. And so it was like I remember my favorite memory from my dual meets were I actually almost got like our entire team. It was my last meet ever, like suspended, because I'm not sure if it was the same in New York, but in Pennsylvania you can only do 4 events in high
yeah,
school, yeah, for dual meets. And so I had already done 4, so I did the pole vault, I did the 100, the 200, the triple jump. Those were my like races that I already did. And then our assistant coach was like, "Hey, we need another person on our B squad for the 4x4, or our C squad for the 4x4, because they like all of our people had already ran." And I was like, "I'll do it. Why not?" Like, 'cause I'm running against like JV kids, and I'm like a senior, so I was like, "Sure, I'll go through and do it." And so I run it, and like I'm just like there are some people in the stands, like I'm running on the back stretch. I'm like, "Come on, like hype up!" Like I'm just acting like a fool, and then our
Oh, you were that guy.
the kids, we were ahead by so far. Like, I'm
Yeah.
racing literal like freshmen and sophomores that are running actual 60s, and I'm running 51 probably at the time. And so I'm like, I'm 9 seconds faster than everybody. So it's like I'm cooking. And so I was just like messing around. And then at the end, coach was like, "How many races did you have this week? Or did you have today?" I was like, "5." He's like, "Are you an idiot? Like, you can get us like suspended, this, that, and the third." And I was like, "Bro, it's a JV 400. It's a dual meet. Like, this doesn't mean anything. Like, it's the last one." So no,
Yeah.
he's one of my. I love dual meets. Dual meets are so much fun.
Dual meets are fun, bro. I actually went out my high school career in a dual meet. Well, obviously it wasn't the last meet of the year, but my last dual meet, I ran off the track and didn't finish my race.
Dang, what happened?
My coach put me in the 800. I didn't feel like running, so I ran. I ran like 300 meters, 100, yeah, I ran like 300 meters and just ran off the track because where the gate to go back towards the school was like right at the 300-meter mark. And I had calculated what I was going to do. I was like, bro, I ain't running this 800, bro. I'm getting off the track.
You like fake an injury, or
No, I was like, no,
like,
I'm not. Because I had an attitude beforehand, about it. My coach told me I had to run it, whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm not running this, whatever. He's like, you're going to run it. I'm like, okay. So I just stayed with the pack for the first 3, and I ran off the track. I think I might have told him I had to use the bathroom or something like that. Coach Sprague, I know he remembered this story though. So yeah.
did you get in trouble right after? Like, I'm sure
I
you
mean, what
probably
are you
would
gonna
have been.
say? We got another invitational on Saturday that he needs me to like go and beat other guys. So like, he ain't gonna trip that hard. But he's like, bro, you a wuss. You know what I'm saying? And for lack of better terms.
Man, that's great. Just running off the track saying, bump all this 800 stuff.
Bro, it was killing my aura. Like, you know, like you can't make an 800 look cool. So it's like,
It was killing my aura. It was crazy. Like,
yeah.
you get the girls and they run it. They can't watch me come in fifth or
I went to
sixth.
all boys school at that, so
Oh,
like, it wasn't even no girls.
couldn't do it. Killing the aura.
I
That's
just couldn't
crazy.
do it, bro.
No, I understand. I understand. But no, you said a second ago, you're talking about with like, the what is it? The like appearance fees and stuff like that. Cause you're getting your money if you're running as a pro. We saw at the Diamond League final, Grant Holloway didn't run. They said there was some difficulties with, discussing on I'm guessing it probably had to do with appearance fee, if I had to guess. I mean, he said it was they couldn't come up with an agreement. What are your thoughts, like thinking of this? I mean, obviously you guys are pros, you're getting paid, you have to you got to make sure it makes sense for all parties. But what are your thoughts when you saw, hey, we got one of our top athletes that a lot of people are probably looking to watch, not running in this final race?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But props to Grant for like standing on something, right? He knows his value. He understands his value. I don't know what they wanted to give him. Obviously, it wasn't nearly enough to where he took it to Twitter and really bashed the meet as a whole. But I got to give Grant his props for that. Now, every athlete is different, right? Like, not too many athletes have gone like 96-2 in their last 98 races, right? So Grant can do certain things that other athletes can't. Now, if you know it's a different athlete and they're throwing the same money, obviously they would jump at that opportunity. But Grant, like I said, he knows his worth. So props to him for standing on it. That's kind of my thoughts about it.
Yeah, no, I'm right there. Like, I think it's a good thing from the standpoint of I was seeing a couple other pro athletes talking about like release the contracts to be able to like contract transparency and stuff like that. And I mean, from what I understand, like the contracts themselves of like the shoe deals, you're not able to release, and I think that's like the same for pretty much every sport. Like you're not going to hear from what Jason Tatum's Nike deal contract is, but then people make the comparison of like, oh, but we know exactly how much money LeBron James is making in the NBA. I think that's more of a comparison to like what's it called? Like appearance fee money. Like I think I don't know. I mean, you're in it. Like do they have like specific verbiage, or is there specific things in contracts saying you're not allowed to share appearance fee thing? Or is it just pretty much nobody does it, so nobody like talks about, hey, this is what I'm getting paid for my appearance fee?
I think amongst peers, we do discuss it. And obviously the agent world is even smaller than the athlete world. So like my agent, for instance, he has like 50 athletes, right? So he's negotiating most of these appearance fees and how they go. So I think the reason to share a contract, like for an NFL player, NBA player, is for the sake of negotiation. Okay, Justin Jefferson got this much. I want 1 penny more, and I'll be satisfied, right? So, keeping that away in our sport obviously is better for the directors and the people holding the money. They don't want to give it out, obviously. But I think that amongst the peers, it is shared how much. Oh, man, they only gave me 20 to come to this meet, or they only gave me 5 to come to this meet, or something of that nature. So it's definitely discussed, but I think most athletes are typically happy with any appearance fee they get. Most, not all.
Yeah. I thought, with this one, I'm curious as to how it will potentially impact, what the other, like what it's going to look like moving forward. I mean, he knows his value, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be showing up like, hey, you want me to fly out to Brussels? That's another 3-4 days away from family. I've already had a long season. I've already accomplished everything I want to accomplish. This victory isn't going to get me a bye into the world championship because I already have a bye into the world championship. So it's like, now, sure, he can win maybe, what is it, like, I think $10,000 if he's the champion. But it's like, and for most people, that's a a lot of money. I mean, for any regular Joe, that can be a life-changing amount of money for a lot of people, and can be a big amount of money for a lot. But like if you're Grant and it's like you're already, you're probably pretty like amongst track athletes, you're up at towards the 1% of earnings most likely. Like, does that money get you out of bed? I don't know. You got to get that, I need some more if you're going to make me I got another week of training I got to do. I just want to like be sitting at my bed drinking wine. Oh, I want to be doing all this. So it's interesting for everyone. I'm sure it helps raise the bar for appearance fees just going up for everyone. Cause high tides raise all ships type deal.
Yeah, man, I like what he's doing. I think we've seen lockouts in MLB. We've seen lockouts in the NBA. But everybody's just kind of like, we're so thirsty in our sport. Like, we're so thirsty to get into a competition. We're so thirsty to get a paycheck. We're so thirsty that we don't have much power in that sense. But a guy like Grant or Noah or Sydney or, Ryan Krauser, somebody of that nature, that stature, if they can make a stand, I'm sure it would make a difference or just make noise. We're talking about it. So,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like when I'm thinking about it of like you had mentioned, they're like, hey, people are thirsty for the money and to be able to go through and get your paycheck and get what you want. I think it also comes with where it's like, sure, there are there's always going to be someone to fill up because there's so many athletes in track and field that if you need to fill out a lane, you're going to be able to find somebody. Like
yeah,
there's so many people where if you just go to the next person, you'll be able to find somebody. But there are a very limited amount of like stars right now with track and field. Like in the 110 hurdles, you have Grant Holloway of like, this is the star. And so it's like, hey, if you don't have Grant running, maybe it's not as exciting of a race. In the 100, you might have a certain amount of people, 200, 400-meter hurdles, you have certain amounts. And so it's like, yeah, you might have somebody able to fill that lane out. But I was even seeing people on Twitter talking about Grant Holloway's not in that race. I'm not watching it. Like I saw people say, like, I don't want to watch the 110 hurdles. I don't have my person. So it's like, sure, you'll be able to fill out that lane with someone else, but is it somebody else that people want to watch? Like, do people want to pay to see this other person? Maybe so, maybe not. And so, yeah, like with these Ryan Krausers, who's making this new shot put league, and you've got, the Grant Holloway standing on business and all that, like it can change the way that the business side of things, roll through these stars, doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And to piggyback on that point about like, they'll just call up another athlete and get that lane filled. Like I remember I was in Oregon a few years ago. It was after US champs. And I think I might have ran like 45 flat or something, nothing crazy. But I got a call at like 3 a.m. from some random number I never recognized, but I was like, I'll answer. And it was like a meet director in Stockholm or Zurich, one of those meets. He's like, hey, do you want to come to this meet? And I was like, yeah, I'll come. It's 3 a.m., sure. And then like I woke up the next morning, I was like, I don't want to go. So I called back and I was like, I'm not coming, bro. So it's like a revolving door of athletes that are always gonna just take a spot. But for the viewer, we don't want to see some schmo Joe when we want to see Grant Holloway,
Yeah. I can imagine you at 3 a.m. You get that like, yeah, like I'm like half asleep. First of all, why are you up at 3 a.m.? Let's talk about that. Like,
I wasn't up, like it just the phone woke me up. I'm like, yo, this must be important, right? And I was like, it's 6 a.m. on the East Coast, like it could be anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just answered and I had got like 5th in the race that day, so I was like, oh, this is another opportunity to run, cool. And then I was like, nah, bro, I'm shut down my season, I'm cool.
Yeah, he was like half asleep. Yeah, sure, let's do it. And then wake up. Wait a minute. Was that a dream? Like, was that real? Did I actually talk about this thing? Yeah, nah, never mind. I ain't doing all that.
Yeah, bro.
Would have been like you had to leave like the next day, like that.
Yeah, I would have had to leave like.
Oh, so it's not like you had a week. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that's tough. Yeah,
because I had just got I was in Oregon. I had just got my passport, so I could travel and everything. I got it in Oregon at the time. So then I got the call. I'm like, oh, I'm ready to go. But then. Yeah,
yeah, that'd be dang, 'cause flying all the way out to Europe too. That would have been, what is it, like probably like a 9-10 hours of flight, if not more. Like
probably more. Yeah, definitely more.
Yeah, I don't even know how far. Maybe that's from the East Coast I'm thinking of, because you on Oregon, so that would have been a little bit long. Yeah. Nah, that would have been a lot. Yeah, that's got to be great. Like, how was the travel for y'all? Like, I feel like that is I don't hear a whole lot about it, because like with football, like the most they're traveling is, just from East Coast to West Coast. You might have your random European game, and people talking about, oh, it can be a long travel day, or you got baseball players doing back to backs, in Seattle and then in down in Florida the next day. Like, how's that affecting y'all's legs? Like, is it, because I know some meets you can get there a couple days early. Some you might be just getting there one day early. Like, it's a long travel, I feel, when it's a worldwide sport.
Yeah, it's definitely a long travel, and that pays in different ways. It's going to present itself in different ways for different athletes. Like some people, like I've seen them travel, do crazy travel. Like Vernon's one, who's so impressive when he travels, and like he's constantly flying back and forth, and he'll go compete in Europe and come compete in the States, and no difference, right? But like for myself personally, like I've had a really, really big challenge trying to do things like that, So it's like everybody's different, bro. Like your sleep get thrown off, your body get thrown off, everything, for real. But it's a blessing too, So it's never all bad.
Yeah, I was because I had a show that I did with Trayvon Bromell. I was talking with him. It might have been on Instagram Live, and he was saying, yeah, in his first years of going pro, like he said, he struggled a lot with you're competing in Europe because it's different time zones, it's a lot of travel, it's different food, it's different schedules, like it's a language barrier, and so it's like, yeah, that plays a big part because if you go, he's like, people are eating, you have like food that you're comfortable with, which is usually like McDonald's and stuff, which like if you're an athlete at your caliber, like you don't want to be eating McDonald's, 3 days out of the week just because, you're comfortable with knowing what that food is, where, and all that. So, yeah, I've heard from different people, like it can be tough, with that European circuit and not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, man, it gets a little mixy, man. But we just finished the European circuit. Now you want to talk about it?
Yeah, bro, for sure. So we just got the Diamond League final that finished off. First, this is the last meet that the Diamond League, as a reminder, will be on Peacock. It's going to be on Flow Track as of next year, excluding the Prefontaine Classic. The Prefontaine Classic is still on Peacock, I believe. For our US watchers, it might be different internationally, but for the US, it is going to be on Flow Track. So if you want to be able to watch the Diamond League, you know where you got to go now. You got to buy Flow Track, either their monthly or their yearly subscription. So make sure you get that. But what are just your thoughts? How do you like the Diamond League just kind of circuit? It's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 14 races that they have of the Diamond League. I don't know if you've been able to compete in any of those yet, or just what your thoughts have been just having this type of circuit for the professionals.
I think it's the dopest thing. I think it's the coolest thing. Like, it's our PGA Tour, right? Like, I think the timing of everything is weird with like major championships in the middle of it. That's like my only gripe with it. But I think that the Diamond League is like so premier. It's kind of, for me personally, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm trying to run in that, So.
Yeah. I can imagine that can be like, oh yeah, I'm in it, like, because it's only 8 people or 9 people,
Right.
in your events that are going, and so it's like, getting that spot can be huge. Oh yeah, I guess it would have been you got. I guess this probably would have been a good year for you if had you been able to run. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But let's start things off with I guess probably the biggest story out of it, the women's 100. We saw Julien Alfred get the win with a time of 10.88. Dean Asher-Smith with a 10.92. Marie-Jose Tallou in 11.05. And then notably, we had Sha'Carri Richardson coming in 8th place with a time of 11.23. Julien Alfred maintains her undefeated season at championships, so she's winning the 100 meters at the Olympics, she's winning the 100 meters here at the Diamond League, and also won the 60 meters at the Indoor World Championships. Start off with her. Is this like one of the most dominant sprinting performances that we've seen from a woman, and just in general, I guess, not just one of our women sprinters, just in general? I think one of the dominant sprinting performances we've seen over the course of the last, I don't know, 5-10 years or so?
No, I don't want to go that far because, Elaine's 2022 or 2021 Olympic year was crazy, and the year following was crazy. No, but it is very impressive that she was able to win all three major championships in the sprint event. Like that's incredible, and with times that aren't anything to laugh at. But to say like the pinnacle of dominance, no, I don't think it's there. But it's impressive to say the least.
Yeah. What I really thought I didn't think she was gonna be at this point. Like I thought she was gonna be like coming out of Texas, like a contender for maybe a bronze, a silver medal. Like coming out of Texas, I was thinking that she was probably gonna be in that like Dina Asher Smith and like and TT Terry kind of tier where it's like, yeah, you're always going to be probably a contender for bronze or silver. I wasn't too sure if she was going to be able to go out. I know she was insanely consistent because at Texas she was extraordinarily consistent with the races. I ain't see her coming out like this where she is a champion like coming out and just like putting in work on a consistent basis, just like an absolute workhorse. She's like insanely powerful. Like whenever I've been able to see her run, and yeah, I mean, just yet another kind of dominant performance for her. Like it just really wasn't even close. This entire race.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure I expected this from her. I think I want to go back through the videos now, but I think I said she was my dark horse to win an Olympic title. I might have said it around the indoor championship after she won the 60, but like to be like the star sprinter in the sport, she is the best short sprinter in the sport. Fact.
Okay, so you think she's? Go ahead. What were you
I
saying?
just didn't expect it this fast. I didn't.
Yeah, I was because this is her second year as a pro, right? Because she went pro. I guess first full year because she did a little bit after Texas, and then I guess this is her first full kind of year if I think correctly. But she's dominant of what she's had and consistent too. What I was surprised with is like we mentioned, we saw Sha'Carri coming in eighth, and it looked like she knew about 10 meters in that it wasn't going to happen, and it came off the gas. I think we've seen this before with some of these races where motivation might be hard to come by. I think back to that the Prefontaine race in 2021 when she realized probably pretty quickly that I'm not going to be coming in that top percentage. Let me just pull off the gas because she didn't run through the line and it just kind of stopped. And I get it from a motivation. And then she pulled out of the 200 meters, so it showed like, hey, I'm done. I probably didn't even want to race in this race anyway. But what were your any concerns or any thoughts for you from that performance, or is it just kind of hey, the season was over at this point anyway?
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand that the stakes might have been lower, but as a competitor, there's a lot of question marks. Like, are you taking this lightly?
Yeah, like I think, yeah, as a competitor, it's been like, or as a fan of a competitor, and like if I was an athlete, I think while for me and for fans, it might feel like the season has been a little bit drawn out, where it's like, I'm not really as excited to watch track. The Olympics finished up, had the World Championships. Like next year, the World Championships are during this weekend, so we'll have like the biggest meet of the year happening now. But like as an athlete, like you gotta compete each and every time. Like we wouldn't see, many other athletes kind of wrapping it up and saying, this is over. It doesn't mean as much. So it's yeah, I mean, it's a little bit concerning as a fan of like, man, like I want to see you compete. I want to see you go out there, try your hardest, and to see you coming across the line, not sprinting across the line, but pulling up at the last little bit. It's like, it's not great to watch. It's kind of like when you see a baseball player not running, like hit a ground ball to the third baseman and is jogging to first. It's like, run through the line, like give yourself a chance because you might be safe if you actually sprint. And Sure, you might not have won, but you might have been able to come top 4. Is it better to, jog through the line at 11:23, or is it better to sprint through the line at 11:16? I don't know, but I think it's best to, compete and go through the end for yourself, for your fans' sake. And I don't know, it was not my favorite thing to watch from really any competitor or athlete, to be honest with you.
Yeah, bro, it's ugly. Like, it's one of my least favorite things to see in this sport is an athlete like throwing in the towel. We work so hard. Like, why do that? I know you ran a lot and stuff like that, but that's really not justification for me. And then the bigger issue that I take with it is more so about the example, right? Sha'Carri is probably the most polarizing woman in the sport, right? She's very famous. Um, and these girls, these American girls, young black girls, little black girls, getting their hair done, running track, getting their nails done, looking good, doing all this, that, and the third. They look up to her. That's who they want to be like. They want to be like Sha'Carri. So now it's okay when these girls are losing or they not, things not going their way. It's okay for them to pull up and quit because Sha'Carri did it. And it's not the first time we've seen it. That might be like the fourth. You know what I'm saying? So shit not cool, man. Like that's not cool. At any aspect of the race, or any aspect of the sport.
Yeah, no, I'm in a similar thought. Like, if you don't want to do it, if you're like, look, my season's done, I don't want to compete, then that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather you not compete because you're not in it. Maybe your training, your season's done. Like, I mean, Noah Lyles stopped his season. He was like, look, I'm done. I know he had a little bit of injury, but I'm sure if the world championships were at this point, I'm sure you could have, like, figured it out. Like, I don't know what is, like, of any injury, but I'm sure, like, as a competitor is like, look, I'm feeling a little bit. It's like the end of the season, you had won what you needed to win. There's just no point in running. Then don't run. That's completely fine. But when you decide to show up, then you're saying, like, okay, now this race is important. We're expecting the best out of you for whatever it is. If you're lacing them up, then then go through and competing at it. You're healthy enough to compete. You're healthy enough to win. You're healthy enough to lose. And yeah, so it's just disappointing. Like you said, like, is it something that I'm gonna, like, I mean, it's something to think about for the remainder of someone's career, of like, hey, if this is something that you're doing right now. I don't think she'll ever do it at, like, she wouldn't do this at a world championship or at an Olympic championship, I don't believe, but like at those other races that you might have that might not be a championship, could this be something that you see, like, towards the tail end of a season? Like, maybe. And like, it's not something that I like to see from athletes, but
Yeah.
it happens.
And honestly, like, this really shouldn't have been a low key feeling meet for any of those women in that 100. Like, Sha'Carri was the favorite all year and lost at the Olympics. She got to get back at that one Diamond League meet, but this was really her opportunity to end with a bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna just throw in this towel. This meet doesn't mean anything. Like, it kind of did. Like, it is the Diamond League final. It's a historically recorded track meet. This is going to be in the books for ever. You know what I'm saying? So that one, yes, it is important. And two, you had a chance to avenge yourself, like, not once, but like really do it in a championship setting, right? And just take it like a G, man. Come on.
Yeah, it was tough. Not ideal, but hopefully hopefully, like, her coaches and all that, like, talked at the end, like, yo, like, if we don't want to run here, then we ain't got to show up. But, like, let's not just, let's not come out here and, be doing all this. But we'll see.
Yeah, though. And it ain't even got to be a coach, bro. Sha'Carri, if you watching, like, bro, we love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got mad love for you. You know what it is. But, bro, like, that's not Pete. That's not cool.
Yeah,
I had to say my piece.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. Shout
Absolutely.
out Spider-Man. There you go. Hey, if you gonna be that dog, then you gotta be that dog each and every time. Like, LeBron James got to be on. He can't be doing all that stuff. Like, hey, you won't be like this. Like, it comes with a little extra, and you get held to a different responsibility than other people. So it's like, oh, you don't talk about this for other people. You're right, because you ain't other people. Like,
right.
You another person. Talking about, like, with other people, bro. I don't know if you saw this, but we had Sydney McLaughlin, who is one of them other people, racing a bunch of people that are not other people in these 400 and 200s, blowing them out. Like none of these. So this is exactly what I feared. I don't know. Did you see these
I
races
saw
for
the 400. Yeah.
bro? This was exactly what I feared. They had Sydney McLaughlin running against a bunch of people that she had no business running against. Blew out the field for what? It was useless, and it was just not a fair use of time for her or for the fans or for really anyone involved. If you're going to have Sydney McLaughlin flying on out and competing at the Diamond League final, you best believe you got to make sure that she's competing against some actual competition. This was a glorified practice. This was a time trial. This was to allow her to get one more race in to try to break the American record, which she didn't necessarily do, but that's what this race was for. Her 400 to try to break the American record. And it was just disappointing for us to be able to go and see. Like, it's like, I think it was a waste of time. And if you're going to have her doing this, you have to have her competing in an actual Diamond League event. I know that she didn't technically run in any Diamond League events, so you can't make her wild card. Change the rules, do something, like, because this was just, it was upsetting for me to be able to watch it. Yeah, she ran a 49.11. The next closest person ran a 50.53. Come on, have her racing against some dogs. I don't know. That's my kid. That's my take. So
Yeah, I feel you though. I think we talked about it last week, but I think that there's somebody of that stature deserves a nod or deserves. All right, we'll let her in. I'll say that and we'll let her in.
yeah, bend the rules, change it up. Now I think it would have been great because she ran a 49.11. And Paulino, I think she ran something similar, right? Paulino ran a 49.45. She would have beaten her. Like, why don't you put her in that race, man? Like, imagine, like, because now Paulino would probably get pushed because I bet you she runs faster if she has Sydney McLaughlin in there. And now the whole world might be wondering, dang, what would have happened if you put both them dogs in there? Do we see a 48? I mean, do we see a race? Because Paulino's been essentially spotless throughout this entire year. I don't think she lost really at all this season. So this would have been the first time this year she would have put a little bit of frighten her race. So I don't know. If you're gonna have Sydney McLaughlin flying out, have her run with the big dogs. Don't have her running with not big dogs. That's my opinion. But all right, there was another big kind of like upset, though, I guess you could say. The Silent Assassin, Kung Fu Kenny, beaten Letsili Tebogo in the men's 200. What did he end up? I think it was a 1967, if I am correct. He ran 1967, yeah, and then Tebogo with a 1980. He's like sneaky. He's super consistent, man. Like, this was another great race. I mean, his season best is a 1957. It was really rainy and cold and not great at this race. Like, you think next year could be that year for Kenny with how consistent he's been over the course of his career so far?
It could be. I wouldn't count him out. First, congrats to him for getting that dub. The way he ran it, he ran the same way every time. You know what I'm saying? Tebogo just wasn't like all the way there, but that's the type of days that Kenny gonna win, man. So if Kenny get in a race next year and everybody a little bit like 1% off, and he's his consistent self, yeah, he could win. He's not my pick, but yeah, he could get something done.
Yeah, like he's getting there where he's at 1957, and now he only runs like 0.1 second off of like whatever his PR is right now. He's not going to you're not going to see him running something crazy, but like Tebogo, his personal best is a 946. He ran a 1946. He ran a 1980 at this meet. Pretty big difference. Now 1980 is extraordinarily fast, obviously, but it's pretty big of a difference from your best versus Kenny Bednarik. His PR is in 1957. He only ran in 1967. That's pretty close. He stays consistent, which makes me think if he gets that PR down to a 1950, 1949, he's going to be running almost every race around that time. which mean and we see other athletes that might have a faster PR not be able to replicate that PR every single time. They might have that, I'm running 19.46, but then I got all those other races that might be 1980. Bednarik ain't going to be doing that. So he's going to be in that time frame. So he could be that guy next year, I think, because he's going to be, if you're not, like you said, if you're not at 100% every time and you're racing Kenny, he's going to be, what you're going to get out of him. So it could be that year for him. It's a possibility, I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that, actually. Running that close to your PB that consistently, like, very impressive from Kenny, actually. Like I said, he runs that race like the same way every time, like clockwork. So it's dope, man. My first meet that I watched Kenny this year, he actually ran a 400. I watched him. I just pulled up to a college meet, like super random. He was on the track. I'm like, bro, what the? You know what I'm saying? So like, it's coming together for Kenny for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for this upcoming year for him, man. It stinks that he doesn't get the bye because Noah won the world championships, which I would think, why don't you just have where you get 2 buys, even if your country wins the Diamond League and the world championships. I don't know. I think whoever's the Diamond League champion, if you give them a bye regardless, then you get some of these other people that might care a little bit more about it than but to each his own. So it was good. I'm looking forward to Kenny for next year, but that was a good race. And with Tebogo, I think it's fine. Dude's had a lot of races. He's accomplished everything he needs to accomplish. You lose to a Kenny Bednarik, it's not like you're coming in dead last, or you're losing to someone big. Like you lost to a good competitor. Like I think that's a fine loss in my opinion. I'm not looking too much into it.
Yeah, and you didn't give up. You ran through the line.
There you go. Run through the line. Run through the line, kids. That is the name of the game. Awesome. So let's see. I think that's a lot of the stuff that we had for the Diamond League. Any other Diamond League performances that you really wanted to outline here?
I mean, shout out Jasmine Camacho Quinn, getting her dub. Yeah, shout out to her. But Jasmine Camacho Quinn Scott. I don't know. She changed her name, but
I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of last names. She's gonna be like Marie Jose Toulouse, where you got like five names. Yeah, Jasmine Camacho Quinn Scott. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot. So we'll see.
Hella hyphens on a jersey if we were to have them.
Yeah. Speaking of jersey, did you see? It wasn't at this Diamond League. I think it was the last one, but Tambiri. He wears a jersey. He wears number 8 on the back of his thing. So maybe we'll be able to get it. Hopefully for Grand Slam track, they'll have the like jersey numbers on the back. That'd be cool. I know when I still got one on the Instagram highlights for your number 24. You still rocking 24 if you had a jersey number, or would it be different now?
I'll probably just wear number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah.
All right.
Or William, bro, like I said, it's about Aura. And my birthday on the 1st, so really.
Okay. When's your birthday?
January 1st.
Oh yeah, we was talking about no, that's slick. Mine's coming up. Mine's September 19th. We almost there, man.
What's that, next Friday?
Thursday. Yeah, we got it Thursday, so coming up.
Hey, y'all go ahead, subscribe for Colin's birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. Yeah, throw a couple likes out there, man. So turning 28, damn. Old as hell.
That's the new 18, I heard.
Yeah, all right. Appreciate it, bro. All right, so excited for some more Diamond League stuff, but we had a lot of other some exciting, interesting news that broke just recently as well. First, I guess because we're talking about Kenny Bednarik, Grand Slam track, they did announce that they added 2 new athletes to their list. So Kenny Bednarik, as well as with Fred Curley, who's going to be the first 2 male sprinters that are going to be competing in both the 100 and the 200 for their 2025 circuit. These are some pretty big names that they're adding. Like they got names, man. I don't know what type of money they thrown in here, but like the people that they're adding in, like Sidney McLaughlin, Fred Curley, Kenny Bednarik, Josh Kerr, Yared Naguse, Cole Hawker, like they got names in here. Like you think this can be like legit, like this can be something that is going to be able to stand the test of time and maybe be a staple in track and field moving forward here?
It's got the potential to. He got the right athletes. He started with the right people, for sure. And honestly, that he secured the biggest people, that's really all he needed to do. He, as in Michael Johnson. But that's all he really needed to do. We're not going to the meet to watch, uh, you know,
Anybody.
yeah, but we're going to the meet to watch Sydney McLaughlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, just her. Forget the 100, 200 mileage, all of that. It's people, fans that's geeking out just to watch Sydney, just to watch Fred. Out of the people that I think that he signed so far, those are the two people with like the biggest, most compelling following, people that will really just come and see them. So really, if you got Fred and Kenny in the stands, I mean in the blocks, you could have 6 other cats and people gonna pay a significant amount of money to see them, right? So with that recipe, that formula, I think it will stand the test of time. I hope it do, and I hope to run into this upcoming year. You know what I'm saying? However it play out, I'm trying to run in that for sure. I
Yeah.
want parts.
Michael Johnson, hit up Noah. Let him his DMs
Real
open.
talk, bro. Real talk. We'll figure something out, bro. You won't be disappointed at all. The ladies won't be disappointed. Let me stop. Let me not do too much. Let me not do too much. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
Oh man. Yeah, if you're looking for some just funny comedy, look up Noah Williams tweets just at random hours, bro. You be tweeting out anything. It'd be great. I'd be geeking out every time. It would be like, yo, if my number's saved in her phone, it's over for you. I'm like, bro, it's 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. Chill out. Like,
Bro, I'm just firing from the hip. Like, I'll just be driving and just get a random thought. I'm like, I have to tweet that, bro.
yeah,
Like, I have to tweet that. Like, oh,
it'd
her
be fun.
MCM uses ketchup and mustard on her hot dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just anything. But, like, I'll just put it out there, man. My mind goes everywhere.
Yeah, so hit up Noah if you're looking for some just outlandish tweets every once in a while. But yeah, so like they're getting together a really strong lineup for this Grand Slam so far, and I know that Noah mentioned that he's been in talks with Michael Johnson. I know that I'm sure Grant Holloway's been in talks with this organization. Like they're getting big names here potentially involved, which is what it all takes. And the best part is, I think since they're getting all of these great athletes, they still haven't even announced like where it's going to be able to be watched. Which I'm hoping that it is. What would be great would be is if this was on Peacock. So it's like, hey, Peacock lost the Diamond League, but they get the Grand Slam track. Then they can get a lot of extra money as well. The cost of being able to watch is pretty low, for that as well. So hopefully it will be on a site that is fairly easy to be able to watch. But they're getting names, man, where just these, like you said, these athletes alone, like even if you weren't getting many other big names, like these are people that people would watch track meets for on their own. And each week, like I'm wondering who's going to be next. Like it's every week I'm like, yo, there might have some big names coming here, because they had two big hitters with the men's sprinting right now.
Yeah. So who's like the person that you want in this league? Like, who's the person that you want, man or female?
Yeah, I feel the two easy ones. It's got to be Sha'Carri and Noah Lyles. I feel like if you can get those two, then it's gonna be like if they get those two athletes, then the Grand Slam track might become bigger than the Diamond League.
Yeah.
If they get Sha'Carri and they get Noah Lyles, where they're going to be committing to competing 5 times a year at least in the Grand Slam track, on top of the athletes that they already have, that is a superstar lineup. There is no other track circuit that would be able to compete with Grand Slam track if they're able to get them. Now, that's a big if, because those are the biggest athletes in the sport for a reason, and they cost, a pretty penny. If you're trying to get them to commit, to five meets a year, it's going to be a little bit of bread. But if you can do that, like congratulations, become the biggest track circuit. And then depending on where you are viewed, like if people can watch you either, you're streaming for free on a YouTube, or if you're being streamed on something like Peacock or NBC or on cable or ESPN, man, like I would be if I'm the Diamond League right now. I'm getting a little scared after I'm seeing these athletes because they're getting a big one. Now there's no like exclusivity clause right now, so it's not like they're only competing in Grand Slam. Which if they get an exclusivity where you only compete in these races, that'd be crazy. But right now it's yeah, they're building something, man.
They're cooking. Mike over there cooking. So I'm excited, man. I think 2025 we're gonna have a lot in store, like multiple different leagues. What's the all women's league called again? What's the name of that?
Yeah, Athlos,
Yeah,
something like
Atlas.
that. That's going to be happening on, I think, September 26th or September 28th. It's not next weekend. It's not this upcoming weekend, but it's the weekend after. So, which date is that? Yeah, I think it's September 28th. They got Megan Thee Stallion that's going to be performing there. We got to get some more concerts and stuff going, man. Like that's what that would be tight. And so I think you got that. They got some DJs that'll be there. Other celebrities and things that are going to be there. That's gonna be big. So I'm excited for that race. And then talking about another one, we've got Ryan Krauser who's coming out with his shot put league. I know we aren't necessarily the thrower people. We don't talk a ton of throwing, but what do you think when you're seeing, hey, there's going to be Ryan Krauser, he's going to do a soft launch of an American shot put league for 2025, and then hopefully a bigger rollout, an official rollout in 2026. What do you think? How this will go? We haven't really seen anything like this in the past before.
Yeah, I mean, if you could set up a different viewing situation for it, I mean, he's the person to do it. I wish him all the best, and it's good exposure for the throwers in the sport. You know, they can have their own exclusivity and curate their own niche of fans. Be dope. But other than that, I ain't got nothing else to say. You know, but it's an encouraging thing that he's doing it.
Yeah. I think he's taking the idea that I've had over the years that field events don't need track and field, or field events don't need track in order to be successful, because the viewing experience for a men's 100 and the viewing experience for a women's shot put or a man's pole vault is completely different. And you don't need to have this giant, insane facility to be able to watch these individual events, which are very exciting on their own, but it is getting taken away from because it's not the primary. Like track is the primary in track and field. And so when we go to like street pole vaulting competitions, those are exciting. Like they'll have shot put competitions in the middle of the city or in the middle of a downtown area where you can have people directly in and watching the event. And that's exciting because you can actually see how far these athletes are throwing. Like Ryan Krauser is imagine taking a bowling ball and throwing it from one free throw line to the other free throw line. That's how far these athletes are doing it. But when you're sitting 1,000 feet back, you can't quite see the impact of how far that is versus you standing right there. It's like, oh man, that dude's hurling that thing. Like it's better when you're closer up. And so I'm hoping that we see this league does well. I'm sure Mondo, I mean, he has his own pole vault meet. Maybe he's going to make his own pole vaulting league or something like that. I mean, I think this can open up the door for a lot of new athletes that are in these field events to say, let me break away from track and create something special amongst the field that people enjoy watching and is a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, you said that well, man. Like if you change the viewership though, that can make a lot of difference for sure.
Yeah. Make your own thing, get it exciting. It'll be cool. It'll be nice to see what's going to pop up. So we'll have to see. Great. I think that's mostly all the updates we got. Any other things that you had in the track world here, man?
Who you think could shot put farther? Me or you?
I mean, like right now, it's me because you got 1 foot. So
Okay.
you need, but like I feel like if we both healthy right now is I have not lifted in a long period of time, man. If this is last year, I was lifting 5 days a week. I was able to bench 225 for a little bit of time. I ain't been able to be there recently, but I think right now you got it. Like I gotta be the bigger man here. You got it probably.
Okay, chat. Let us know who would win. But what is a fair, like? Okay, you're a pole vault specialist. I'm a sprinter.
Yeah.
Like, what is fair? If we were to do like a hypothetical competition, what's fair?
What would, if we were to compete in something, what do I think would be the best? The hurdles. I bet if we did like 100-meter hurdles,
Okay.
110 hurdle, because like I got a little bit of form over them hurdles. Now they have to lower them a little bit. I ain't that tall, but, but like I feel if they did that, yeah, that would probably be my best because I was gonna that or maybe triple jump. I used to do triple jump in high school. I know you did long jump, so I wouldn't do long jump against you. I would do either triple jump or the hurdles. That I feel like that would be the closest to being fair amongst us two, if I had to guess.
I would love to do this though. Like after I'm clear and everything, like I would love to do something like this. If if you happen to be in Florida, we're working on some content already. If we were to just line up a race, come out to the track, line up a 100 hurdle race at 110s, or just triple jump, bro, that would be so much fun. We could just record it, put it up.
Yeah, that's what we'll have to do. We'll create the next the Mondo Warholm thing. So it'll be, and then like maybe if I win, you got to wear a Mount St. Mary's jersey in a race or something. I don't know, or practice. Whoa, yeah, get a little
Whoa. A
crazy.
race is crazy. Now we're talking about my
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's my.
money,
I forgot.
yeah.
No, you're right. Maybe I had a practice or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
But there we go. So we'll do. That's what we can look into. Let's try to figure out some dates. I got to get in shape because man, I am not in shape. I got this bike ride today. I got a 2-hour bike ride. I'm probably going to do the second this ends. So I'll let you know when my body's right. We'll do either a hurdle race or triple jump or something. I still got my spikes from way back in the day. So.
All right, I'll be on the lookout, man. I got to get ready for you, bro, for sure. I underestimate no man.
What event do you think then would be the closest?
Probably triple. I was thinking triple at first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm down for either. Unless you just want to say F it and just hit like a steeplechase race.
Oh yeah, maybe the mile too. That could work. Steeple, yeah, maybe something that neither of us would do well. Speed walking or whatever.
Oh,
maybe some javelin. I feel javelin might be good too. We'll have to see. Well,
yeah.
All right, we'll get in. We'll try to get it in the book sometime soon. We'll have some type of race that we'll get going. Maybe we'll get some celebrity coaches. See if Donald Scott help me out with some triple jump. I need help. My form's been is a little not looking good. But all right, appreciate it everyone for watching another episode of Track World News Podcast. Be on the lookout next week because now the season is over. We got some exciting other new different types of topics, ranking lists, recap videos from the season, and projections for the upcoming year. So we'll still have some exciting stuff coming your way during this off season. So make sure to stay tuned. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.